What's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider, coming to you with a new week of daily videos from my perspective. Yes, I'm in my bathroom. And am I taking a Raider dump? I should be. We've been shit for years. But no, let me be honest with you. This is the only time and area of the day that I have to make this video. So you can maybe think I'm killing two birds with one stone. Hey, let's go out. But I don't care either way. And I got my microphone. Hopefully it doesn't cut out like some of the other videos that I do. But do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of this channel for early and exclusive content and future videos and members-only videos. And once this fire stuff dissipates, hopefully I'll have a little bit of better health. Plus, I also got doctor's appointments today and some other. We'll talk about that at another time. All right. More importantly, we have a problem, Raider Nation, and we have a Ben Johnson problem. Look, I haven't looked at the news today. It's like 1 o'clock. Maybe they signed him to be the coach. I don't think they have. Because I don't think anything will be announced if he is going to be our new head coach until after the playoffs, and the Lions are Super Bowl favorites. And the Lions, they don't want to hear that their offensive coordinator is going to another team while they're fighting in the playoffs, and he should be focusing on game planning for his football games. So I don't believe there's going to be any more information about Ben Johnson to the Raiders until the Lions are out of the playoffs or they win the Super Bowl or whatever. So we got about a month for any information. And that's where the problem lies. Okay. First off, the rumors are Tom Brady orchestrated the whole Zoom meeting to be the Raiders head coach, that Tom Brady is getting shit done from behind the scenes. Is that fluff? I don't know. Everybody wants to look good in the press, so is that fluff? I do not know. Trust me, I'm going to explain why there's a possible Ben Johnson problem happening. And let me just quickly tell you, I want him to be our head coach. The guy is creative. The guy is fantastic. And he built a foundation with him and Dan Campbell over the past 4 years. And yeah, I'm excited. But apparently Tom Brady got a hold of Ben Johnson's agent and orchestrated the meeting that Ben Johnson had on Friday with the Raiders organization. Who was in that meeting? I do not know. I don't think anything has been said publicly about that meeting, whether they agreed to terms on being a head coach or if he's excited. Again, I don't think any of that information is going to come out. It might have just been a meeting where they asked Ben Johnson what would he do to fix the Raiders. I don't know. But he probably has a game plan of how he would fix the Raiders. And he's had an interview with the Jaguars as well last week, is what I heard. And maybe the Chicago Bears. But technically speaking, I don't think, he wants to go to any of those other teams. I would call the Raiders a front runner. Why would I do that? Well, we don't really have a first-round draft pick for him to get the quarterback. But we got a couple of pieces like a Jacoby Myers and at the moment a Max Crosby. But he's going to probably want to bring in a general manager if he does. His own general manager, his own friends. He wants to call plays. I heard he has stipulations if he's going to be the head coach. He wants to call his own plays. He wants to be involved in general managing and drafting and building an entire foundation from his point of view, like he did with Dan Campbell and the Lions as a team together. And that's what the Raiders need. But he needs consistency as well. So I don't know if he's going to want a contract if he has to be guaranteed that he will not be fired in 5 years. I don't know if 3 years is enough. I don't know if 4 years is enough. I don't know what he's going to request besides a lot of money. And Mark Davis seems to be willing to spend it. So I got to give Mark Davis kudos because he is spending a lot. And we have to respect that at the end of the day. But back to the possible problem of Ben Johnson. Okay, we can talk about all the stuff that he might bring if and when he's announced as a coach. Or here's the problem. Mike Vrabel just became the Patriots head coach. He was possibly on a short list for the Raiders with Tom Brady. Mike Vrabel went to the Patriots the other day officially. Coaches and general managers and all these people that are being coveted are starting to take interviews while the playoffs are happening. Maybe not the playoff coaches or our coordinators that are in the playoffs, because they have to manage, their team in the playoffs and all that other stuff. But as playoff teams get eliminated, like who got eliminated the other day? Oh, the entire AFC West, except for the Chiefs. When coaches and stuff like that are eliminated, they're going to start possibly taking interviews and signing with other teams. Now, this is the Ben Johnson problem I'm having. In my opinion, he will not be available till around the Super Bowl time to even announce if he's going to go to a team or he wants to take on another meeting or two to iron out the details. Maybe they're doing that right now while he's working with the Lions. His agent is doing the work. But still, nothing will be announced or notified publicly for about 2 or 3 or 4 weeks while the Lions are in the playoffs. But in the meantime, other teams are going to be hiring coaches, hiring coordinators from other teams that are out of the playoffs or whatever the case may be. And they're getting a jump on the NFL draft, on their staffing, and all that other stuff. While the Raiders are waiting for Ben Johnson. And people can change their mind last minute. Remember the Cliff Kingsbury debacle? Where we were left with our hand in the cookie jar and we had no cookies left after Cliff Kingsbury took away the offer? Same thing for Luke Getsy. Same thing that happened with Josh McDaniels with Tom Brady when they thought Tom Brady was going to come to the Raiders and then he retired. There's a possibility for a third time in a row the Raiders get caught with their hands in a cookie jar with no fucking cookies left. And it might be the middle of February or right after the Super Bowl where maybe, and again, I hope not, Ben Johnson is like, nope, I'm going to go to this team. Or there's another team that, whatever, figured it out. Or I'm going to stay with the Lions. And then now all the other teams have already got coaches or coordinators that are becoming coaches or whatever the case may be, and they have a leg up. And now the Raiders don't have a lot of options. That is the Ben Johnson problem. And I'm really, really afraid of it. Of course it could all work out. Meaning, maybe he is going to be the Raiders head coach. We're getting excited for good reasons. Maybe the media's not lying. And stuff like that. But we all know what happens for the Raiders. Everything goes to shit. Pun intended. So, I wish if he was considering the Raiders coaching job and they had a good meeting and they're throwing the dollar signs at him and whatever he wants, I wish it would come out publicly right now. But again, that would hurt the Lions. That would affect him and the Lions. And it will not be done. But the media, Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, and all these people are reporting that the Raiders are enamored with Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson's agent, and Tom Brady got in a talk and they had a meeting with the Raiders for the head coaching position, and the Raiders are enamored with him. And but that also creates a bidding war. for Ben Johnson behind the scenes. By these media reporters announcing that the Raiders are enamored with, Ben Johnson, well, then that tells teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars or whoever else might be enamored with him that it's now a bidding war between the Raiders and these other teams. So we got to get our ducks in a row. We got to get all our gifts, all our money, all our prizes, whatever we're going to give Ben Johnson, we have to figure that all out against each other. And then maybe in a couple of weeks, depending on whatever's happening with the Lions, we present that offer to the agent. Then the agent tells Ben Johnson when he has a moment or two, while he's not possibly winning the Super Bowl or playing in the Super Bowl or coordinating in the Super Bowl, we tell him the offers and what we'd be willing to give. Then we got to wait for his decision. So it's a waiting game. So a lot of options are going to be off the table. Now, will the Raiders have good options if it doesn't work out? Yeah, there's going to be options out there. But they are technically second best options. That's why the news media the past week or two has been talking about Gruden and Pete Carroll. And maybe a Bill Belichick. Did I do the FU? Excuse me. Smoke in all of the airs the last week. Because the Raiders have second best options. And Tom Brady have talked to these people. But do they know they are second best options? Now they know the Raiders are enamored with Ben Johnson. So if publicly they've been contacted by the Raiders, meaning Pete Carroll, Gruden, Bill Belichick, they now know the Raiders are waiting on Ben Johnson and that they are the second best option. Will some of them have issues with it? They might. They might be like, I don't want to be second best. Or they might require more money or whatever because they are the only option for the Raiders if Ben Johnson falls out. So we're being fucked with all of this Ben Johnson talk publicly. Again, it may work out, so it's going to be a great thing. But I'm talking about possible second options and stuff like that where we're going to have to give up more in case we need them last minute because there's no other options available. It's a very fascinating subject. That's why I titled the video The Ben Johnson Problem. Not that he is a problem, but you can foresee issues the way this situation is panning out. But hey, regardless, it ain't my money, right? It's the Raiders and Mark Davis, so why do I care? I don't. I think Mark Davis made so many damn mistakes in the previous years that he deserves to pay all this damn money. It's his fucking problem. And he needs to finally fix it. But I do love the idea of an offensive coordinator from one of the great teams, the Lions, that built an entire foundation. I am really excited. I would be honored to have him on our team. I would finally, for the first time, feel that we're not picking up, like has-beens or wish they were's or people like me, donkey lips. But I'd be really proud to have that excitement of a young coordinator that is very creative to build a foundation. And plus, Ben Johnson wants to do that for himself. That's why one of the reasons why people don't think he would want to come to the Raiders. Like, what do we have to offer besides drugs and alcohol and a lot of money in Las Vegas? That is something any man would want to do. Build a very crappy team into a playoff championship perennial dynasty. That is an ego builder. And Ben Johnson has technically been 60% of it, 50% of it, 70% of it with the Lions. So he would want the opportunity to come to the Raiders and do that. And again, Aiden O'Connell might be a good enough backup quarterback or starter, depending on what you look at it, but he might be one of those pieces where before we draft a quarterback, or if we draft a quarterback, or whatever the case may be, that Ben Johnson is like, he reminds me of Jared Goff. Left for dead, has a lot of skills, and I could build an offense around this quarterback in case we don't have a better option. But of course they're going to look for a better option or in the draft or however that works in free agency. But Aiden O'Connell, poor man's Jared Goff. Do you guys see that? I could. So this makes me excited about Ben Johnson. And this is why I think once he has a moment to himself to figure out all the options, the Raiders would feed his ego to build it into a perennial winner. And he would be a legend. Not only he's a legend for the Lions right now, but he would be a legend for the Raiders. But there still is that problem that I talked about. I don't know what's going to happen with the coaching search. It sounds all positive the way I'm talking, but what if it doesn't pan out? Are the Raiders left for dead? Are they going to have to go to their second best options because all the other people are being hired by other teams? And will they have enough time to study for the combine, for the draft, if all of this goes down in early February? I don't know. Pretty interesting, pretty scary, and it's a possible Ben Johnson problem. But at the end of the day, I hope it's a Ben Johnson miracle, and I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts on Ben Johnson. Are you excited? Do you want him? Is he your top candidate? And we'll talk about general managers and other things on these daily videos. I appreciate you all for hanging out with me. And I know I'm a little bit demeanor, meaning sometimes I rant and I rave and I go a little crazy, so stick around for those videos. But some days I'm very subdued and just humble and blessed and chill and taking a poop. So hope you guys enjoy the content. Thank you guys for watching the videos. Each video has been seeming to get about 1,000 views maybe, and it just means the world to me. Thank you for your support. Appreciate y'all. And gosh darn it, Ben Johnson, come to the Raiders. Make it happen.